All right, today we'll be talking about the FAA's advisory circular system and FAA different ways of disseminating information to the general public and the aviation public specifically. The advisory circular system is a way for the FAA to put out information that they didn't put into the FAR AIM or any pertinent information that has become relevant recently. And each of these advisory circulars are kind of categorized by the regulation that they are applicable to. So, for instance, advisory circulars pertaining to aircraft are FAR 20, and they start at Advisory Circular 21 and go through 45. And then for airmen, it would be Part 60 or 61. Airspace is 70. And then ATC and General Aviation Rules, Part 91. On down the line like that. So we'll talk about a few of these advisory circulars and kind of how to access those as well. So any advisory circular that you want to look up, you can go to FAA.gov, and they will have all of the current and canceled advisory circulars in their website. And it's very easy to find and easy to search through the website to find the one that you're looking for, or if you just want to browse them and read anything that's interesting to you. One of the main ones that people think about when they're talking about advisory circulars pertaining to aircraft is the Airworthiness Directive, or Airworthiness Directive, or AD as they're referred to. Occurs when an aircraft has already been certified by the FAA as airworthy, and then later found to need something else in order to maintain that airworthiness. And that something else that the aircraft needs is put out into an airworthiness directive and then disseminated to the aviation public via the advisory circular system. Anytime an aircraft needs to go in for maintenance or 100-hour annual inspection, they have to comply with any and all airworthiness directives that are applicable to that aircraft. So that's one of the advisory circulars that you'll be hearing a lot about and have to be required to be in compliance with in order to fly. Another common advisory circular has to do with special use airspace, and this is something that you'll want to be familiar with, obviously, before you go flying, and it covers anything that's not Class A, B, C, D, E, or G airspace, and also commonly reviewed in the early stages of flight training. Other advisory circulars, and Part 91, there are just general operating rules, some specifically containing information about parachuting, ultralight aircraft, and then some of the newer ones talk about airport security and air carrier security. These have been implemented after September 11th and 2001 and are still applicable, and it's something to keep in mind whenever you go out to the airport. Okay, then there's advisory circulars pertaining to Part 141 flight schools, and if you're a part of a Part 141 school, you might want to take a look at that. Other advisory circulars include navigational facilities, VORs, NDBs, anything that any radio navigation aid that the FAA maintains will also be here as well. In addition, and kind of back to the airspace, there's temporary flight restrictions which fall under the advisory circular category and are ever changing. So it's also something you want to take a look at before you fly to make sure that you're not going to be flying through one of these temporary flight restrictions. A lot of times these TFRs can pop up at a moment's notice, and they can be either national security oriented or just safety of flight. And one of the common things, especially in the summertime, is for a TFR to come up around a forest fire where there are airborne assets trying to fight the fire. And so they'll put a temporary flight restriction around that in order to provide a little bit more safe environment for those aircraft that are trying to extinguish the fire. Also, our NOTAMs fall under this advisory circular system. NOTAMs, or notices to airmen, contain pertinent information that are of either temporary in nature or have come out after the most recent chart or publication update. And they're also imperative that you familiarize yourself with all of the applicable NOTAMs before you take an aircraft flying. I think that pretty much does it for the advisory circular system, and I appreciate you listening.